What are the rules for you keeping backyard chickens where you live? Are you sure? You might be surprised. One of the easiest things that you can do to begin your journey to living a self-sufficient, simple country life is keeping a few egg-laying chickens in your backyard. You're thinking, Rob, this is crazy talk. We can't keep chickens where we live. Are you sure?
Live a happy, freedom, life.
Welcome to the new normal, or whatever you'd like to call it. Here we are. Time for some backyard chickens. Here's the deal. There's been a movement all across the country to allow backyard chickens in many towns. Towns that you might just assume that you can't have a bunch of farm animals in. Many experts and many people in general think that we're in for some hard times. What do you think, Snowball? For what it's worth, I think we are looking at an extended period of hard times. An extended period. Much like what our parents, grandparents, or great-grandparents, depending on how old you are, had to live through. Simpler times, and this isn't necessarily a bad thing. Especially if you have some egg-laying chickens in your yard. You're noisy. Inflation, supply chain shortages, and all the rest. The newest concern is a diesel shortage. We don't refine enough and have been relying on Europe and Russia for diesel, and both of these sources have gone bye-bye. It has people moving in two different directions. A lot of people are moving in the direction of relying more and more on government to take care of them. Smart people are looking at ways that they can be prepared and live more of a simple, as much as possible, self-sufficient life with some noisy chickens. Snowball. The people that think that government will take care of them look at self-sufficient, simple living people, like you, people being prepared as crazy extremists. Remember this when they come to you looking for some chicken eggs. You can't have my eggs, huh, Snowball? Backyard chickens are most often regulated by your local ordinances. Local. What you must do is check with the city, the community where you're living to see what regulations are currently in place. If your quest to live a simple, prepared, self-sufficient life, you need to be aware of the rules in your community. If you find chickens aren't legal in your town, and make sure that you see the actual ordinance one way or the other. Don't just believe someone's word. You have three choices. Don't keep chickens in your backyard. Break the law and try to fly below the radar. Get the law changed. Or option number 4, move. Go somewhere else. In my research, I found these common requirements for keeping chickens in your backyard. You're limited in the number of chickens. Typically, it's around 6 chickens. Sometimes it's a little less, sometimes it's a little more. Many local ordinances specify no roosters. And to be honest, even if your community doesn't say so, I highly recommend that you keep only hens if you have nearby neighbors. Some locations require a permit, but most don't. Your city probably has requirements, restrictions on the coop that you can have, in the run, how big it can be, where it's located. A typical rule is that it can't be seen from the street. So make sure you research all of these things before you get your chickens. How many chickens should you have? Chickens are flock critters, and they thrive with their pecking order that they have. So I suggest a minimum of 3 or 4 hens. You got to have enough so you have a little family there. But you should have, should you have the maximum number allowed? Assuming that you have a limit where you live, most backyard chickens, and it varies breed to breed, depending on what kind of chicken that you have, they're going to lay about 4 eggs a week, roughly every other day. The more eggs in the spring and the longer days of summer, they'll crank them out about every day. And for sure, they're definitely going to lay way less in the short days of winter. You might hardly get any. So 3 or 4 hens means you're going to be getting a good dozen eggs a week. And remember, more eggs in the spring and fewer in the winter. Yeah, you guys slack off in the wintertime. Determine how many eggs that you use in a week. If you use 2 eggs a day, that's 14 a week. So that means, the 4 hens is going to work out good for you. If you use 3 eggs a day, that's 21 a week. So then you're probably going to, if you round up a little bit, that's going to be about 6 hens. So your mileage may vary. You're going to need a coop to house your chickens. You can build a coop yourself, or you can purchase a ready-made coop. Just keep in mind that the requirements of your town, what they might have. All the coop really has to have from the chickens' needs is a roost for the chickens to perch on to sleep at night, and a quiet nesting box for them to lay their eggs in. Quiet, girl. Focus on living a self-sufficient, simple country life. And chickens are a good step in that direction. She's getting a little antsy here. Embrace your chickens! Don't let the busy, crazy, everything going wrong world dictate how you live your life. You get to decide how you will live your life. If you have any questions about keeping chickens in your backyard, let me know. Drop a comment. Doing what you love is free thinking. Loving what you do is freedom. Live a happy freedom life. Freedom! Right, Snowball?